Hey everybody, thought I would take 10 minutes to discuss Spectral Voice, who are, in my opinion, one of the best metal bands going right now. Take a look at their albums, discussing them live a couple times, and reference a bunch of my other albums while I'm at it. So, Spectral Voice are a death metal band with extremely heavy doom presence, and they were formed in 2012 in Denver, Colorado, and they are known for consisting of 3/4 of Blood Incantation's lineup. The only difference being that there's a different drummer in Spectral Voice, and this drummer is also handling vocals in the band. So the two most recent Blood Incantation releases. I guess not. They put out a EP more recently. But definitely a fan of Blood Incantation, but definitely more of a Spectral Voice guy if I had to pick. So my first exposure to Spectral Voice was in 2018 when they would be supporting Primitive Man, who were touring for Caustic at the time. I knew who Spectral Voice were, but I didn't really know what to expect. And first thing they did when they got on stage was light some candles, tell the light guy to kill all the lights. They might have had a little bit of blue strobe light and a smoke machine. And they proceed to blow my mind. Just an amazing set, one of my favorites of the last several years. And while I was there, I picked up a patch and their debut full-length album, Eroded Corridors of Unbeing, Undark Descent. And that might have been my favorite album of 2018. Favorite songs on here. I feel like these might be fan favorites, but for good reason. The opener, Thresholds Beyond, and Lurking Gloom. It's got that part that everyone likes with the really creepy and gloomy guitar part with the blasting behind it. Just sounds like a rainstorm at night in a nightmare. Just takes you to another place. And their strength is just that ability to perfectly contrast the creepy doom parts and the crushing death metal parts. Not the first and not the last to do that kind of thing, but I don't think anyone does it quite like them. And again, this is one of the best albums of the last decade. So I kept my eyes open for Spectral Voice and picked up this in 2023, the split release with Undergang, the Danish death metal band. It starts with 3 songs by Undergang and concluded with a 14-minute epic by Spectral Voice. But this is definitely a bit of a signal for things to come. Bit more leaning towards the doom elements on this one. So while we're talking about Undergang, there's their 2 most recent albums. Another one of my favorite modern death metal bands. And that would bring us to 2024 with Sparagmos, out on Dark Descent. I will say right off the bat, I prefer the debut album, but I still love this one. It's much different. It's much doomier, dronier, mysterious, and atmospheric. And about a week ago, I was able to see them live for the second time, back again supporting this album at Lee's Palace in Toronto. They were headlining this time and definitely were playing to a bigger crowd. Before we talk about them, I will say that the first track on this album, it's got me thinking about Khanate. Sound very different, but just the guitars and kind of the flow of it just reminds me of them. And if I had to pick my favorite song on here, it would probably be number 3, Sinew, Censor. I think it's the most resembling the last album. So there were 2 Toronto black metal bands opening the show. First one was Nachlicht, who were, in my past exposure, I was always thinking Dark Throne, but upon seeing them live, I was more so hearing Early Emperor and Early Mayhem. Definitely very second wave inspired in sound and image. And I thought they were pretty cool. I should have hit the merch table, but I didn't. So next up we would have Thanta Faxith, who I think they put out 2 full-length albums now, and definitely have gotten a bit of a buzz over the years. And I've seen them live once before. That was probably way back in 2010. They were opening for Alcest, the first time Alcest came to Toronto. And so I remember them. And if I had to compare them to another band, I think the easy, or my first conclusion is Deathspell Omega. Here's the newest Deathspell Omega release, total masterpiece. Yeah, definitely doing that dissonant black metal thing. Enjoyed the set for sure. Next up was Spectral Voice for their headlining set. Even darker than last time. No candles, no strobe lights. Just darkness and a whole lot of smoke. You could definitely see them moving on stage, but had to look close. Pretty cool. I mean, even the crowd, I think, it's darker. People are like less self-conscious. I think they're kind of getting into it a little bit more. And I think they blew the crowd away once again. They played 4 tracks, 3/4 of the new album, and 1 from the debut album. And another great night, great band, and thanks for watching. See you next time.